Hi everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your energy shift expert, where I teach highly sensitive people and empathic people how to shield and protect their energy so they can live a more happy, healthy, and prosperous life. So tonight, we're talking about angels, and I'm so glad that you've taken the time to join me. I am learning how to do these Facebook Lives where I can have the camera right here, and I can learn also to have the live stream on my laptop so I don't lose track of questions. I want to say hi to John. I want to say hi to Kendall and Sheila. Namaste to you. I'm glad that you came all the way from Florida to be with us. So I'm going to refresh my page here so I can see. Hi, Lysandra. I'm so glad that you took the time to join us. Let me get my page pulled up here where hopefully I can see my own live stream. There it is. Anyway, hi, Sharon. Thank you for joining. Nancy. Oh, I'm so excited. There are quite a few people joining us tonight, and I'm so super excited that you are. I have had the most energetically wacky day, so I'm a little bit disheveled with my hair and everything else, so I hope you'll bear with me. It's just an exciting time. So tonight I promised to talk about angels and talk to angels if they choose to show up tonight. And what's amazing is that as I was sitting here getting all the last bit of the technical stuff done and getting the lights ready to go for tonight, I could hear the high-pitched whine in my ear, the high-pitched ringing, which if you have ever had that before, you might thought was some sort of a tendinitis. And what it actually is that when the angels are close and the angels are talking, there's a high-pitched whine in your ear. So I'm so glad that so many of them have shown up to join us tonight to see what's happening and to what's going on in our audience. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about angels and what that looks like. Angels are beings of light. There's all different kinds of angels. There's a variance of them in the canonized version of the Bible. If you Google Bible scripture angels, a lot of them will come up. Hi, Candace. Nice to see you tonight. And what happens is the biblical scripture has a lot of different references. And if you've been following me a while, hi, Linda. If you've been following me a while, you know that I have a background where I like to use or reference the Bible. So if that doesn't work for you, just toss it out. It's okay. I understand. But that's my orientation. So I like to look in there and look at the stories and what is being presented and what are they talking about. Hi, Bridget. So before I got on tonight and during my life, I would often look to see what angels look like. What do they look like? What's their purpose? What are they doing? So just a few of them that caught my curiosity a long time ago, as far back as age 10, is in Ezekiel. It talks about 4 angels coming out of the sky with a being sitting in the middle, and each of the angels have 2 wings outstretched to the front, touching the others, so it makes a box, and then 2 wings over what we would consider to be the privates. Hi, Nancy. And so those angels surrounded a being, which we believe to be God or Jesus, coming down to talk to Ezekiel. And he prostrated himself because the sight was so scary. You know, you can imagine if you're minding your own business and here comes, 4 beings with wings outstretched forming a box, and they have a head on either side. They've got 4 heads, which is unusual to us. We're used to 1 head, but 4 faces. Sorry. A face here, a face here, and a face here. We're not used to that. We're used to 1 face facing 1 direction. So that could be quite scary to see. But angels aren't really designed to scare us. Those are more like an escort set of angels. There's other angels that have come. One came and talked to Mary before that she was to have Jesus. And there's messenger angels, there's healing angels, there's protective angels, and there's all different ranks and kinds of them. And they're just beautiful, and they're there to work with us. Hi, Cherie. But we have to ask. There is a rule in the universe we live in called free will choice. It's like gravity. If you have something handy in front of you tonight that you can drop, hold it up just over a desk or tabletop and then open your hand and let it drop. What happens? It drops. It's universal gravity. It's a law, it's a rule in the universe that we find ourselves living in. And so is free will choice. So if you're needing help or you're asking for angelic guidance, I usually ask God, Spirit, or Source to please send the angels for whatever I need, for healing, for protection, for information, and let them come and work with me. And I know that they're angels because when they come near me, the vibration is loving and kind. It's not one of you feel like there's something near you and you get that knot in your stomach, or you feel like a cat on a hot tin roof and you just want to run. You know, that's not the desired outcome when you're working with angels. Hold on, I'm checking for any other questions here. But it's, you know, the desired outcome when you're working with angelic beings is to know that they're loving and they're caring and they're not here to frighten us and scare us, although they can be quite scary. So I was thinking about, before coming on tonight, I was thinking about some of the stories of the interactions I've had personally with angels. And then if you have questions, please put them in the feed. I do have my laptop here. That's what I keep looking at to see if there's any additional questions, because I noticed when I was on one time before, we had so many people joining us that the feed locked up and I couldn't see the questions. So angels have the ability, hi Debbie, angels have the ability to intervene or interact in the 3D reality we live in. So different dimensions are what I call 3D is the third dimension. The third dimension is the clay pot. It's the body we live in. It's what we see around us. And behind that is a spiritual dimension, which is right about here, which people call the higher self or the God within. Thank you for the heart. If you are watching and you know somebody who's interested in learning more about angels, right down here at the bottom of the feed, if you're on live Facebook, click share and send it to them and invite them to come on over and join us. That would be absolutely fabulous. Oh, hi, Deanna. Let's see here. She says, I don't have sound, and she'll be back. Okay, great. Yeah, send hearts. Let me know. If I'm talking about a subject you like, just put the hearts or the thumbs up so I know that I'm hitting the right spot of information for you. So with the angels, their special assignment is to be able to be, thank you, in the same frequency as we are. So here's our 3D world, our clay pot. Thank you. Hi, my sister Stacy. So you've got the third dimension, which is here. And then right up above us is the fourth dimension. That's where our higher self, our divine self usually is. And then above that, there's a light dimension, and where light frequency that we can't see transforms itself down into more of a physical reality. And that's where the angels can come from. There's more dimensions up there. But they have been given the innate ability to move in between dimensions. If you look up on Google, Bible scripture, angels appearing, you know, to men, you'll find a whole bunch of references. And there's one in there, and I'm sorry I don't remember it right off the top of my head. Like I said, it's been a crazy day, where there are men going into a battle that God said for them to go in so that they could, you know, take over this land, and they were very petrified. They were very scared to do so. And so the angels went from the higher frequency of light where they could not be seen to a lower vibration where the people could actually see them. and they were frightened. And understandably so. You know, you're minding your own business, and all of a sudden, something that's not really tangibly there goes, boop, hello. It could be quite frightening. Been there, done that. It is. Hi, Chrissy. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Denise. Thank you for joining us. So just know that that's part of an angel's job. It is stealth mode, if you will. There is some indication that there are other belief forms about what those angels actually are, and I do allow for that, but that's not the purpose of this video tonight. So if you have an alternate view than mine and you'd like to let me know, you can private message me, you can put it down in this feed and share, because I'm always learning and I'm always open to more information. I may not agree, but at least I'm learning and bringing in more information about things that are happening and things that we're aware of. So in the angels, again, we'll go back to that. So there's the 3D reality that you and I live in. You know, it's the one that we can touch or feel or sense, right? Then there's this space, if you will, here that's called the fourth dimension. That's where our higher self, or our spiritual divine self, lives. And if you imagine a figure 8, we're on the bottom and our divine self is on the top. It's not literal, but it's figurative, so you understand. And then above that, there are light, L-I-G-H-T, dimensions. And if you look at the people that have studied light wave frequency, they'll even show you there's certain light waves we can see, like the colors of the rainbow, but there's certain frequencies outside of that that the human eye cannot see. That's usually where angels hang out. Thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. Thank you to let me know. But that's where the angels hang out, so that we don't see them. And I'd like for you to visualize for a moment that if you said, hey, boom, guardian angel, I know you're there, I can feel you, show yourself, and it did, you would probably have to change your pants or pick yourself up off the floor. And I myself in the past thought to myself that I was so big. You know, here I'm reading the Bible and it talks about these angels appearing to people, and they prostrate themselves, you know, down where they don't see them, and they're afraid of them, and, you know, they run from them, and all kinds of things. So if that's happening, recorded in the Bible is what happened to people who were very godly, what makes us think that when they appeared to us that we wouldn't faint? So be careful what you ask for. And the reason I'm saying that is I got to a point in my spirituality where my desire was to see an angel. And it was so fierce because I'm like, if I can't see it, I don't believe. And most of us are that way. If we can't see it, feel it, sense it, know it, taste it, or touch it, we don't believe in it. Because we're sensory oriented with visual, right? Hi, Becky. Yes. Becky says, I must have a lot of visitors because the video keeps freezing. So just so you know, the vibrational frequency, the megahertz, if you will, of angels and spirit beings is very, very high, and they can interfere with electronics. That's a wonderful thing that can happen. That is actually my daughter in the background, not a disembodied spirit, although you can't see her. She's back there. So I'm going to just take a moment, refresh my screen over here, and see if there's any other comments or questions, just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Let's see here. Okay.
Don't turn it on, kids.
So, okay, sorry. I had to ask her to be quiet for a minute because she's wanting me to look at something she's got going on exciting in her world, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So what's happening is I asked the angels of light to come forward where I could see them, to lower their vibration, because I really had a desire to see them. And when I did, what happened was they lowered their frequency enough so that the light transformed them to where I could actually see them. Right? So imagine if you've ever seen a gingerbread man, or if you've ever seen one of those mannequins in the store window that's real thin, it's just like the outline of a person and they stick clothes on it. That's what I saw. but the outline was white, like a gingerbread man outlined in white with nothing in the middle. And the first time I ever saw that, I had to do a double take. I had to like adjust my glasses, and I'm like, am I really seeing what I think I'm seeing? And the answer to that was yes, I am really seeing what I think I'm seeing. But it scared me because it just, like out of thin air, poof, there it is. So just be careful what it is that you ask for and what that you ask to see. Now I'm going to ask for some of these angels because I hear a high-pitched whine again in my ear. There's two kinds of high-pitched whines that I hear when angels are near. One is just a continual twill, very high. The wave is very close together. And then the other one is more of a real high-pitched twill that comes really loud and then fades off after a while. Somebody is commenting when I'm seeing the outlines of angels, if that's their auric field. I suppose it could be. I never asked if it was or not, but that I just knew they were bringing themselves down to pick up the light frequencies that I can sense with my eyes. Nancy's question is, do you need to meditate first or can you just start speaking? Nancy, what are you seeking? For me, I do meditate, but when I'm meditating, it's more of a communion of speaking with God, Spirit, or Source, and I'm not really talking to angels. I suppose that you could. Or can you just start speaking? If you're in need of an angel, just start speaking. If you're driving down the highway and you see an emergency coming, you can say things like, angels of healing, angels of light, please help those people in that wreck. Courteously pick up your phone, and if you can, without being part of the accident, to call 911 and get some help on the way. But you can also ask the guardian angels to help that person, if they're injured, to hang on, or, whatever it is, to ask the people that are coming to get to them easily, effortlessly, that kind of thing. Just guidance. Okay, Nancy, if you're talking to your guardian angels just about guidance, I would encourage you to go into a meditation to still your mind and to speak to God, Spirit, or Source. Speak to God, Spirit, or Source directly. And then allow the angels to come and minister to you when you're asking for guidance, right? You can just directly speak to them if you like. I like to start at the top and kind of come down a little bit. Some people are just wanting to speak directly to the angels, whatever works for you. But I just talk to them directly. I did say that I would share a little bit about how I hear them or sense them or feel them. So when guardian angels are near for me, I hear that super high-pitched twill that's really, 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 really loud and then gets really, really soft. And then I know that consciously I can't understand what they're saying. I don't get it. And it'll take a little bit. And then all of a sudden I get that bright idea, which I know isn't mine. It's coming from them. The other way I've asked angels to help is if you're in an emergency situation, and I've been in a place where, there's been huge snowstorms, where I get the snow is just coming at you continuously. They call it snow blind. And, there's this much snow on the road and you can't even see the blacktop. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up and the hearts. Thank you, thank you. I've been in those situations where the snowstorm is so bad I can't see the road. I can't see to drive, and all I can see is the white little reflectors on either side. And if you live in the south, it might be a hard rainstorm. And so I've asked the angels directly, Nancy, I've said, angels, please make it so I can see the road. And I have actually seen the snow that, like, as you're driving, it's coming right at you, and it's hard for you to even focus. I've actually seen that snow just dissipate right in front of me, like I was in a snow globe, but the opposite of a snow globe, an unsnow globe, if you will, and take me along so that I actually could see the road, even when I was frightened. And I knew it was them using their ability to transform themselves down to the 3D world and create that space for me. So that's a good question. Thank you, Nancy, so much for that question. And I keep asking the guardian angels if any of them are wanting to step up right at the moment and speak. If they have anything to say. Hi, Tracy. Okay, I'm getting goose pimples or God bumps, chicken skin. That's what a lot of people call it. Okay, they're talking to me about a flood that happened. I don't know what part of the country this is in. Feels like Alabama, Louisiana, somewhere in there. There was a flood the other day. They're talking about a little boy that drowned. They're not being real clear about who that information is for, but they're wanting whoever that is to know that that boy did, his soul did get taken home and returned to God, so that's important to whoever that goes to. There is one angel that's stepping forward saying there's a newborn baby among the people that are watching live, whether it's your baby or grandbaby. And that baby has some challenges with upper respiratory issues right at the moment, but not to worry because it'll work its way out. It's just a matter of them adjusting, getting their lungs into breathing wherever they're living. And if any of you have questions, please feel free to post them. I'm going to keep refreshing here on my page to make sure that I'm up on the latest. And I did mention earlier, hi Trudy. I did mention earlier, but I'd like to mention again, today was an energetically just crazy nuts day. I didn't get a chance to get in and fix my hair and my face before I got on tonight, so please forgive me that I'm not my normal glowing self. Okay, so here's a question. Do the different angels have varied vibrations? Yes, is the answer to that. The more, well, in my world, I'm going to tell you, Nancy, what I experience in my world, but what you experience in your world may be different. So just know that that's what I'm sharing. So Nancy, are the different angels different frequencies? Yes, they are. What I've experienced is the more powerful the angel, the higher the frequency is. So a guardian angel has one frequency, and I've felt that before. I've also had archangels come, and that's a totally different frequency. I've had beings like Lord Melchizedek come in my presence, and that's a different frequency. So let me visit that really quickly. Okay, so for me, I'm looking at some of the questions, make sure I can get onto them. So when I experienced a guardian angel, what that felt like to me, Nancy, perhaps some of you can relate to this. I was actually driving home. I live in Colorado, and so sometimes the wind comes across the plains so fast and comes down the mountain. You know, we get 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds, so much so that a semi-trailer will blow over on its side, and they're really, really heavy winds. And this was probably about 4 years ago, and I was driving a high-profile vehicle down a 2-lane highway going 70 miles an hour because that was the speed limit. And so I slowed down to about 60, 65 because a high-profile vehicle and the winds were coming off and on. Hi, Missy. Nice of you to join us. Hi, Jolynn. Thank you for coming. And I'll get to your question in just a second. Colleen, thank you. And Candace, thank you. So I'm driving down the highway. The winds are whipping up very high, high-profile vehicle. And as you know, if you drive, hi, Sherry, when you're driving down the road in a lot of wind and you have a semi-trailer next to you, depending on which way the wind is blowing, that semi-trailer can block the wind or it can catch the wind. And so as I'm getting ready to pass this semi-trailer, and the front of my high-profile vehicle is just at the back of the taillights of this particular semi, I noticed that it was rocking back and forth a little bit because of these high winds. So I slowed down and I got in behind him, and then he switched over to a fast lane. So now he's in the fast lane and I'm coming up on him again. And it was safe. I felt it was safe to pass. And I got my high-profile vehicle just about to the point of his door. So when I'm driving my high-profile vehicle, the bottom of his passenger side door on his tractor was right about here outside of my car window. And so I didn't have, if he'd come over, I didn't have enough time to accelerate to get my vehicle out of the way because, you know, it's right there. And all of a sudden, a big gust of wind came, which of course I couldn't feel in my vehicle, and I saw the semi-trailer actually start to come over to my lane. He was about that far from the outside of my vehicle, probably this close to my head. And I screamed out, you know, please help me. And at that moment, his tires screeched and left a black mark and put him back in his lane. The wind was blowing this way, not that way. So to me, that was a guardian angel pushing him back to give me safe passage. And him too, because he kept going and he didn't end up crashing or anything. So that's to me how a guardian angel appears. Very simply, very easily, I asked for help and boom, right there it was. Did the wind blow him back? I don't think so. But that's just my perception. All right, so let me see if I can go back and capture a few of these questions before they go. Trudy, we're glad to have you, no problem. And then Nancy, I was still answering your question about different angels having different vibrational frequencies. And I did experience a being that I came to understand was Lord Melchizedek. He's very, very high up. He's above the guardian angel as far as responsibilities. And when I felt him in my presence, I felt as if somebody was pushing down on my chest because his vibration is very, very fast and mine in the 3D body is very, very slow. So when he came in, it felt like there was a pressure going on just because of the different frequency between a slow physical body and a very high light being. So I hope that answers your question. Colleen says Candace's mom is here. I'm not sure about that. Jolynn says, need healing for my eye. You are having some challenges with that. So Jolynn, if you're still watching, and anybody else that's in need of healing tonight, I ask that you take a moment and settle yourself in the chair you find yourself in now, unless you're driving, which I hope you're not driving and watching. Put your feet flat on the floor, and unless you're holding the phone or the device with one hand, put your palms on your thighs. Take a nice, deep, diaphragmatic breath. Breathe from your belly and just relax for a moment. I'm now asking for the beautiful angels of light and healing to please go out to anyone who's watching this tonight or in the recording after, and help them to heal in whatever way is most perfect for them. Help their minds and bodies and souls to shift into a frequency of love and healing. If you're receiving this tonight or after, your heart may have just felt a little lighter. If you're sensitive to it, you might have felt a brush across the top of your forehead. You might have even felt a hand on top of your shoulder. Or perhaps warm and cold in your body where you normally wouldn't feel it. It's just a temporary feeling, and that's their way of letting you know they're there. Healing can come quickly. Miracles can be experienced. And sometimes it takes a while. It depends on you and your circumstance and what's happening in your world right now. Please take care of yourself on all levels, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. so that the healing may begin and be completed. Give thanks in a grateful heart when you receive this energy. Say thank you, Spirit, thank you, God, thank you, guardian angels, however that works for you. Grateful heart raises your frequency and allows for healing. Breathe. Be open to divine love. Somebody's asking for a special healing tonight for someone who has cancer. Just know that Mary is working with them to help them to heal. Okay. Raise your heart rate a little bit more. Perhaps wiggle your fingers and your toes and come back to consciousness. It's a nice, safe space to be in, and you can recreate that for yourself anytime. All right, let me see what other questions we have here. And so, Jolynn, I intend for that to get you started and get you some healing going. If it doesn't work, reach out to me and we can get together. Candace says, can your spirit guides be angels or are angels different? Excellent question. Candace, it really depends on you. There are some of us that are a little ornery and we need more guides and we need guardian angels keeping us out of trouble. Other people may just have one or two guides, and guides will come and go as needed. Guardian angels generally have a little badge that says guardian angels, metaphorically speaking, so they guard, right? There are angels that will give information. There are angels that will give knowledge, but they're not generally a guide. A guide I see more as a coach or a teacher that's with you continually. And the angels will come and go also as needed. So it's an excellent question, and it has so many different answers, but I hope that gave you a little bit more information. But I'm getting, Candace, in your situation, that you have 2 guides and 4 angels right at the present moment, and it seems to me like you had a wreck not too long ago, and if you didn't experience it, great, but that's what they're indicating. It feels like somebody was coming up from behind you that didn't quite see that you stopped. Feels like you were turning or something. So that's what I'm getting for you. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Sherry says, I saw one angel in 1991 and I haven't seen another. Okay, it depends on how you saw it. Sometimes we'll see it through the third eye. Sometimes angels will manifest themselves as humans, and they'll come very quickly and then they'll leave. If you haven't seen one, just ask God, Spirit, or Source to open your heart and your mind to seeing another one. Could be you don't need to see anymore and you're all good. They usually come when needed. So if you're desiring to see them, just ask, but be ready, because when they show themselves, sometimes it can be just a little different to see things just appear out of thin air. All right, then let's see here. Sarah says, can passed on relatives be your guardian angels? Absolutely. I have seen grandparents that have passed and their daughters or sons will come for a session with me and they're asking me about their child's guardian angels, and boom, it'll be grandpa or grandma. So that's absolutely correct. That can happen. And then I'm getting here, let's see here. Denise says, sometimes I forget to ask for help out loud, but even those thoughts I've been asking for get answered, and sometimes in days. Is a spirit guide an angel or a spirit? Well, I think I just answered that, but a spirit guide that's what its badge says, if you will, is to guide, to take you step by step, to put things or other people in your way. They may draw people to you to help you, but not necessarily are they protectors. They can be 2 different things. It just depends on the level of angel, depends on where you are in your journey. What do you need? You know, are you awake and aware? People I find that are more spiritually awake and more spiritually aware often have different teams than those people that are just, going every day. Nothing bad or wrong. It's just where you are. Are you, needing more of a teacher, a guide, or a mentor? But most of us, when we come here, we have at least 2 or 3 guardian angels at any one given time. Let's see. Nancy says, I need that for my husband. So I'm assuming that you're needing some healing and stuff for that. So we've sent those angels, just ask them to come in and be with you. And you're welcome, Candace. Any other, let's see, are there any other questions? I'm going to refresh my page once again. I want to make sure that I get to everybody's questions. If by chance you're seeing this in Facebook feed and it's already been recorded and you have a question, post your question in the comments or private message me on that page. If you're seeing it in YouTube, post it down below. I do have YouTube watchers that don't have Facebook accounts, so just post it down below in YouTube. YouTube will generally send me a notice and then I can answer it for you in that feed. If I can get enough thumbs up, if there's enough people interested, I will share some more guardian angel stories. So if you would like to see those, just put a thumbs up or a heart and let me know you're interested in those. My desired outcome is not to bore you. Let's see here. Ooh, yay! Okay, great. Thank you for that. Okay, so another, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad. I do the best I can to help out with that. Okay, so another guardian angel story. This is where they manifested themselves as men, which was very exciting. Thank you for that. When my daughter was newly born, of course, any woman who's had children before, and especially later in life, you're not, at fighting capacity, you're fighting strength, and, sometimes a little weakened physically. And so my daughter was very young. She was still in the carrier. And I was in between towns here in Colorado. We might have one town here and one town here, and you may drive a stretch without there being anything in between, maybe some houses here and there. So if you break down or something goes wrong, you have to make a call on your cell phone and then wait for someone to come in and help you. And so at that time I had insurance for somebody to come if I had a flat tire, but on those long stretches of road, if there's nobody out there, there is that little fear gap that, something could happen or someone could come along and steal you or steal your baby or both, just kind of a wacky world. So my tire on my vehicle at that time did go out. And it blew out, and luckily I wasn't going too fast, and so I managed to pull over to the side of the road, thub, and I had a cell phone, but I was very frightened because I knew that I couldn't carry my daughter to the nearest house, and I knew that that stretch of road has a kind of a dip down in it, so it's not high profile. And lately, at that time, there were people that were pulling up behind women, distressed in cars and taking them away to not good places. So there was a conscious awareness fear factor. So, of course, when I pulled over, I immediately went, yikes. And then I thought, no, God loves me. I'll be provided for. And the next thing I know, somebody's pulling up behind me. And so that you're going between the logical mind and the God-trusting mind, kind of back and forth. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea who's pulled up behind me. And so when I give it a better look, it's a white van that's unmarked, right? I can't see anything. And all of a sudden, 2 doors open, because I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and 2 very large men get out. And I was immediately frightened. Yes, I know, I'm sorry to admit it. But I was frightened, 2 big guys getting out. And then as I kept watching and one of them was coming up to talk to me, the door on the side of the van opened and 2 more guys got out. So there's 4 huge guys, and here's me and my baby girl, and I was frightened at first. And the man tapped on my window, and I rolled it down just a little bit, and he said, if you have a spare, we'll change you and get you on your way. And at that moment, I knew in my heart that it was okay. And so I got out, and he got the spare tire and the jack, and they changed my tire. I almost felt like I was at the Speedway, you know, at the Indy 500. They changed it. They put everything back. I said, thank you. They shut down the trunk, and they got in their van, and they left. And as they were driving away, I was looking for any kind of markings so I could thank them later and be grateful. And I couldn't see any. And as they were driving away, there was no tag on the back of the vehicle. Angels or not. But that's how angels can work. They come, they do what's needed, and they go. And sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. And what if it was really 4 men who are watching this video later going, oh, that was us? Were they guided by God's Spirit or Source? Probably so. Did the angels open their hearts and whisper in their ear? Probably so. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Thank you, thank you. It's truly amazing. The other times that I have had, I'm sure there's more than a few times I've had angels and just not known it. The ones that I can think of, there were times when I were in particularly kind of awkward places because I would tour, you know, the country introducing myself to people, and I might get out really late at night around 9 or 10 o'clock and, you know, have to walk to my car in a not so happy neighborhood. And I've had people that would drive by real slow and kind of eyeball me, and I'd be like, yikes, you know, guardian angels. And then they would have this horrible look on their face like they saw something I didn't see, and they drive really fast away. So I don't think it's me. But anyways, that's the kind of things. And I've also seen healing angels. I used to, and I will probably again do something called the white light healing angels. And I used to do that on a regular basis here in my office in Loveland, Colorado. And I would have people come and sit in chairs or on mats. And I would ask the white light healing angels to come and to heal everybody in the room. And some people would experience an instantaneous miracle, and some people it took them a while. I did have one guy that came in limping and left without his cane. You know, I had to walk down the hall and ask him if he wanted it back. So those kinds of things are possible. And all I did was ask for the help. All I did was facilitate asking for the help. And you can do the very same thing for yourself. It's that easy. And
Hey, Mom.
well, that's my daughter. But I was asking, and she's right on cue, because I was asking if anybody had anything to say, and there she pipes up. She's very intuitive. I'm getting some messages which could be applied to many people. There's some fear and doubt going on, just a huge amount of it. I feel like it's around a job situation, like they've been looking for a while, they're getting short on cash. There's a little bit of fear there. Please ask God, Spirit, or Source to illuminate the job that's most perfect for you, to bring it into your conscious awareness as quickly as possible and put a little light over it, but continue walking forward and keep looking for that job. You know, I don't know if you're out shaking hands or calling other people, or they say you're looking on the internet. You've got to expand it. You can't just go on the internet and post your, you know, your resume. Well, I guess you could. Let me rephrase that. Posting your resume on the internet sites only is not the only thing that you can do. So I would encourage you to do more. Shake hands, make some phone calls, that kind of thing. You're welcome, Candace. Let's see her. Let's see here. One gal says, I am starting a new business at work and at home. Will this be beneficial? Let's see here. Somebody's telling me to check my broadcast feed. Let me check that really quickly here. Okay. Okay, hi Judy. Can somebody give me a thumbs up to let me know they're still seeing the broadcast? Apparently someone said it's been interrupted. If you can give me a thumbs up, just let me know. Perfect. Great. Thank you. We're back. Okay. So, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it must have been a big angel coming in, stopping the feed. Who knows? So, I do have one question that says, I'm starting a new business at work, at home. Will this be beneficial? If you can elaborate on that question, I'm talking about angels, and I'm not sure how angels would be beneficial to your job unless you're using them like I do, or asking them to help you like I do. All right, let me see if I've got anything else. Oh, they're wanting me, the angels are desiring that I share with you how sometimes that will feel if you're very, very sensitive, if you're very spiritually sensitive. Okay. If you're very, very spiritually sensitive and very aware, when guardian angels come close to you for whatever reason, there's an extra need for protection around your energy field, they might feel a little bit creepy, but they don't mean to. And I mean creepy as in, have you ever been someplace and you feel like somebody's right behind you and you turn around and there's nobody there? Have you ever felt like you're in a room and you know you're alone, but you're not alone? But it's not a bad feeling like, you know, something in your stomach or that heebie-jeebies. It's just kind of like, okay, who's there? Those are guardian angels. If you have ever watched a kid's cartoon called Scooby-Doo, sometimes the mystery solvers on that show will walk forward, and as they're walking forward, the ghosts or the bad guys will be behind them, and they stop and they kind of look back, and the ghost will stand and, you know, look back. And that seems to be what the guardian angels will do sometimes, where they will they'll be right behind you and you look and it's kind of like they're going, nope, you can't see me. I mean, that's normal. I've had them flank me before. I've had them all the way around me before in certain circumstances, and I can feel them, and they feel like a little secret service, you know, going around me. So that's kind of cool. Just know that if the angels are there and it's a little scary to you, ask them to back up a little bit and kind of turn the frequency down if it's creepy to you, and they will usually do that because they're in a space of love, not fear. The darker entities will spread fear. All right. So let's see, I'm looking back at the questions here. Sarah says, I have a good friend who just needs some good luck and happy thoughts. Things are pretty rough, and I've been praying every day that things will look up. All right, Sarah, ask for the guardian angels to go and be with your friend directly and to put a robe of comfort on her. And it will be an energetic robe. Your friend has to be open to receiving that comfort in order for her to receive. Remember, it's free will choice. If she's not open into receiving the comfort, she may not feel it. If that continues to be an issue, please give me a private message and we'll talk about that some more. Oops, hang on. All right, and then Sherry Ramsey says this wind. That is true. The wind was just very, very strong today, so maybe another reason that the signal's interrupting. We'd like to think it's angels, but it could be just the wind. Let's see, and Sheila Klein says she's an empath and very sensitive. When you are empathic and very sensitive, you will more than likely feel the angels around you. Again, if they come and it's scary, you know, just because it's unusual or you don't know what's happening, just ask them to back up a little bit or to shift their frequency so they don't feel so pervasive. And generally speaking, they will, right? Their job is not to scare you, but to love you and protect you. That's their job. All right. And then Jennifer is saying yes. I'm glad that that resonates for you, Jennifer. If you had a different question, just put it in the feed. All right, let's see what else I've got here. Nancy said she had a bad rollover one winter, and the angels definitely cushioned her accident. Even had a lady who works with the angels stop to help me. That is awesome. Big hug, Nancy. I'm so glad that you can experience that, not for the wreck, but that you understood that's what was happening to you, because a lot of times the angels are right there and helping, and people don't process it so much. So good job there. Then Becky says, can the angels guide me in the knowing if the work from home or home venture is real? All right, Becky, I would ask you to join me perhaps on a session. You don't have to, but what you're asking, there's so many answers for, and there's so many ways I can help you with your business and setting it up and looking at the frequency and the viability of it. I have some background in business, so if you'd like to reach out to me, just go to toolsofenergyprotection.com. Click on, I believe it is appointments or contact, and the appointment link's there. Just click on that and set a time, and we'll talk privately. But yes, your angels can guide you in your business. They certainly can. I always ask God, Spirit, or Source directly for the blessing, and I see that God will guide the angels to kind of guide the people that need help to come and receive the help. But that's how I see it. Jennifer Jones says, lots of dreams. Could that be angels and trouble sleeping at night? Yes, Jennifer. I'm so glad that you posted that. I've got just a few more minutes, and then I'm going to stop the broadcast for tonight. And of course, I will be back. If you do like these feeds, if you are interested in the topics that I'm presenting, please go to my Facebook page. If you're watching this in a recording, up here it'll say Deanna Gloyd, and you click on that, it'll take you to my main page, and click follow. And that way, every time that I'm broadcasting, as long as your cell phone's set up for it, you'll receive a notification on your cell phone. It's at 7:30 Mountain Time every Tuesday night. And I will have a different topic that I'm going to talk about, and I'm doing Guardian Angels tonight. Next week, I'm actually going to talk about deceased loved ones from the other side, mediumship. I may take one or two people and talk to their deceased loved ones. So if that's something of interest to you, make sure and join me back here. If you like, on toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on contact, and when you scroll down, there's a place to be added to the email list if you prefer email. All right, getting back to Jennifer. Lots of dreams. Yes, angels can interact with you in the dream state, but is it a dream? I don't think so. I think it's more of a vision, but we process it like a dream because that's when it comes in that timing. I've had beings come and talk to me that were in the dream state, but for me, I don't know how it works for you, Jennifer, but for me, when I'm having a dream about angels talking to me, it's not really a dream. Again, it's a vision. What happens is those angels talk to me in a singular way. So just like you're seeing my face on the screen and it's just me talking to you, except for the beautiful painting back here, that's it. And that's how angels appear to me, is one being or maybe two or maybe three speaking to me in a dream. There's not a lot of other stuff around. It's usually a black and white screen, so to speak, or if it's color, it's very vivid, but it's one person, very succinct, working with me. It's not a dreamscape of this happening, that happening, all that kind of stuff. That's how it works for me. Great question, Jennifer. If you're having trouble sleeping, just ask the angels to help you to get to a space where you can sleep and refresh yourself, and perhaps to address whatever it is you need on a different night. Of course, if it's for your highest good, they will do that. Jade Montoya says, I had a dream that I was surrounded by angels and they came and put their wings on my back. I still feel them. I was wondering what that meant. Jade, let's see. So what they're telling me is those are angels of protection and angels of shielding. So literally, Jade, what they did was the angels that they put on your back are your own wings of freedom. It's understanding that your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are what keep you captivated. And when you can change your belief systems, you can change how you exist in this world. and you can be free of a lot of things. I hope that makes sense to you. But they are shielding you and protecting you. What they're showing me in my mind is an angel standing behind you with what looks like literal wings, like on a dove, surrounding you and keeping you safe. So I hope that makes sense to you. Mildred says, I went to the stadium and they were sold out. Okay. If you went to the Stadium of Love, I hope they weren't sold out of angels. But if you came to see me at an event, I did have an event last year and one the year before that did sell out. It was standing room only. It was the most beautiful thing. And they had people on a waiting list. If that happened to you, Mildred, go ahead and private message me, and I can make sure you get on the list earlier this year so you don't miss out. All right. Then Judy says, would you advertise sending your own angels to temporarily help support someone or does that leave you somewhat unprotected? Oh, advise. Sorry, not advertise. My mistake, Judy. Advise. Okay, so Judy, there are so many guardian angels in this beautiful divine world that we live in. There's a bazillion of them, probably. I don't know. I never asked God how many there were. But there are so many. And when I'm working with a client who request extra angels or request extra prayers, I actually ask God, Spirit, or Source to provide them. Because that's the source, right? That's the source. And it's an endless source of love and support. And if there weren't enough angels to go around, God, Spirit, or Source would go poof and create some more. I don't know for sure. I've never asked God, Spirit, or Source about it. But no, it doesn't leave me depleted. But thank you for being concerned and asking me. That's very sweet. I do have an abundance of angels that I can call on at any one given time and send them to people, and I often do. When you see war-torn areas in the news, when you see tragedy in the news, I will often ask those people's angels to step up a little bit, because chances are they already have the angels. Everybody's got at least one or two when they're born. And chances are they already have the angels there. They're just not processing it because of they're in that emergency situation. So I will ask the angels to step it up a little bit so that they know that they're there. And of course, it's by divine order. It's what the person can experience. You don't want to scare somebody, right? So it's all done in love, and it's a very loving space. But I do have some special angels that work with me that when I do send them, I always ask God to replace them so that I have a full abundance of them. All right. Jennifer, you're welcome. John, big hearts back to you. Thank you very much. Sharon says, it says, the angels do give you the dreams to give your messages that forewarn you of things to come, like the dream about my mother. The dream that was given to me. Yes. Okay, so sometimes angels will give you messages in the dream state. I also think that we are all connected as one, like in a giant internet or ethernet, kind of. And when somebody's getting ready to pass, I think they send that signal out to their loved ones, and then our angels deliver it. But there's all kinds of ways and things that are going. Sheila, thank you so much for joining. I'm just about ready to wrap up. So once I do, I will hit done. And then within a few minutes, Facebook will process it and put it back in the feed so you can watch it from the beginning. If anybody has any last questions, please let me know. Again, a week from today, Tuesday, 7:30 Mountain Time, I will come back here and talk about people that have died, people that have passed on. And I might even do a little mediumship on that night. Depends on who shows up or how many. Thank you, Sharon. I don't want to exhaust myself because it does take a lot of energy for me to talk to the deceased. So if you've enjoyed this program, this broadcast, please come back to the Facebook feed once it's posted and share it with your friends. Let them know that there's help available. My primary, Lisa, again, I'm getting ready to end, but this will be replayed in the Facebook feed. But my primary concern, my primary love offering, basically, that I've asked God, Spirit, or Source to help me become more visible, because my desired outcome is to help highly sensitive people or empathic people be able to protect themselves and shield themselves, especially right now with all the energies going on. And that's why my website is called toolsofenergyprotection.com. I post a weekly article there to let you know what the energy shift updates look like and how that's working. I have classes and I have an inner circle available if you're interested in that, or just a single session to reach out to me. But that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. And I appreciate everybody joining. I appreciate you sharing and reaching out and coming back and spreading the word, because the more people know, the more information they can get, the more empowered they are. And that's truly what I desire to do, is to empower people. You're welcome, Debbie. Thank you very much. And a big kisses and love and hugs. I couldn't do it without you. So come on back next Tuesday. Click like or follow on the page. If you're watching this on YouTube as a follow-up, comment below. You can click follow up there for YouTube as well. If you'd like to get the information as it comes out of my website, you can click follow there too. So anyways, lots of ways to get in touch. Big hug. Big love, big kisses to everybody. Have a great and wonderful night. Thank you.